The Captain is Dead Lockdown. This is a standalone sequel to The Captain is Dead. Just that, The Captain is Dead, no subtitle. Both games are affectionate, nice parodies of Star Trek. They reverse the basic idea that in Star Trek the red shirt dies so that the captain can overcome a challenge. The death of the red shirt shows us that the challenge is real, and the captain can overcome the challenge and bask in eternal glory. Here, the captain is dead from the very beginning. That's the premise, and the surviving members of the crew are scrambling around trying to do different things. They have to work together. The game is cooperative and also can be played in solitaire by a single player controlling several characters. In this installment, the player's characters have been captured. They are in an alien prison and they're trying to escape. They get out of their cell and they're gonna go around and try to activate different systems that will grant them beneficial game effects. But ultimately, they're doing these intermediate things, achieving these intermediate goals with the final objective of activating, powering up the escape pod and getting the heck out of there. The aliens that man the prison, I would say maybe the aliens that alien the prison, are not necessarily in agreement with that and are going to try to stop our characters, and so the game also has a stealth element. Now, let's see how the game plays. This is a general overview of the board. Like in the previous The Captain is Dead game, you have a central area that represents the areas in which the game pieces representing the characters will actually move. And so you will have our heroes going around and performing actions, and you will have aliens popping up and trying to catch them. And then around that area, you have the different areas that represent the functions of the rooms, that is, the actions that the characters can perform when they're physically in a certain area. So if they're there, they can perform these actions. If they're here, they can perform these actions, and so on and so forth. And most of these actions are systems that will start the game locked, and players have to spend skills and use game effects to unlock them, to make those actions, so those special benefits, available. Two important things. The players are trying to escape from this alien prison. In order to do so, they need to launch the escape pod. There will be a game piece here, and the starting place indicates the level of difficulty. The further it is from this area here, the harder it is, because that means that in order to win, you will need to perform the charging the escape pods more times. Each time you can perform the action of charging the escape pod, you move that bar up by 1. If the bar ever goes there, you win the game. And so basically this is the idea. You're trying to keep the madness that the aliens are causing at bay, while your characters are also collecting resources to perform this action here enough times. Another important concept is concealment. This is a game where stealth matters, and so you will have several actions that will raise the alarm. When you trigger the alarm, you will move the concealment bar down by 10%. Basically, you start totally stealthy with 100% of concealment, and then you go down and down and down as you keep triggering the alarms, because a lot of things will cause you to trigger the alarms. Other actions will allow you to move it that way. When the bar goes also all the way here to, I don't know if you can see it, the space that says set to kill. Now it's getting real, and basically now if the aliens share the same space with a player's character, when the situation is, the status is set to kill, then the aliens will kill the character. Otherwise, usually they just escort them to the infirmary. That is, for all intents and purposes, the same as the starting holding cell. The players will lose the game if all of them are killed. So again, that is a requirement for that to happen. The players also lose the game if the last alert card is played, and The players are still in the ship, they haven't managed to escape. And alert cards, similarly to what you have in, well, the previous game, but also many other cooperative games such as Pandemic. These cards you will play at the end of a player's turn, and they will trigger bad stuff. They will make bad stuff happen. Now, we have our characters. Each character is represented by a miniature, such as this one. Same style as in the original game. I like them very much. They are bidimensional, but they are colorful. This means I don't have to paint them to have colorful, thematic, and good-looking miniatures. So I'm very happy with them. And then each character also has a matching card that tells us about the ability and unique skills of the character. Here we have a rank. The characters will activate in order of rank from lowest number to highest. Maximum number of skill cards that they can have in their hand. Discount, that is when they're performing an action that requires a certain number of skill symbols, you can always discount the symbols that are indicated there. So, for example, the tactical officer, taking an action that requires these two symbols, can do it for free. Taking an action that requires three of these symbols will need to discard a card with that symbol, and the other two are covered by the discount. And different characters have discounts in different things. Some don't have them, but this is how the discount idea works. Here on this other side, you have the number of actions per turn that a character can take. Many of them at 4, some have more, as you can see here. The Cyber, for example, but Cyber doesn't have any discount, but a large hand of cards. And then each character has unique abilities that apply in different situations. Enormous variety here. And so I'm just showing you some of these. You can pause the video if you want to read what these characters do. This is just to give you a sense. Now, let's go around the board and see what the systems are, because this is such a huge element of the game. Again, really, pretty much the flow of the game is that you're moving your characters around the board, unlocking these systems that will give you actions. Then you use those actions to improve your situation on the board, to keep the aliens at bay, to increase your chances of collecting the right skills to be able to again perform that action enough times to win the game. That is the general flow. So you really need to start by unlocking at least some of these systems here. Up close, let's see what these systems are. We have the grenade locker. If you unlock it or you hack it, you will activate it, and then you'll be able to purchase grenade cards that are very good because they destroy a lot of aliens. Now, the difference between unlock or hack, as you can see, they require different resources, and you can, again, pay for those resources by using your discount and or by playing skill cards that represent different things that you can do. There is also the alien language that can be used to pay for the alien language symbol or as a wild card. If you unlock a card, so you pay the resources to unlock it, well, you simply unlock it. Congratulations, now you can use that ability. In this case, for example, you can use an action and that symbol to kill an alien. However, if you hack it instead of unlocking it, you, as you can see from this symbol, trigger the alarm, and so your concealment level, remember, the concealment level goes down by 1. The medical station, that is an action, is always available. You do not need to hack it or unlock it at the beginning of the game. So you can spend an action to heal a player that is in the infirmary. Then what we have here, here you have the research station. Some cards will be anomalies that will have lasting game effects, so you can activate the research station to remove an anomaly or to purchase upgrades that you will place in these 2 slots here, and that will give you different types of benefits. You can unlock the teleporter, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's going to help you move around if indeed, well, you can teleport. What else can we unlock? We can unlock the computers. or hack into the computers, in which case when the skill deck is empty, we reshuffle it. This is really a vital thing to have because, well, you need these two things most likely to get more skill cards. By unlocking or hacking the internal sensors, we get to place 3 skill cards there so that when we get new skills, we are not entirely at the mercy of the luck of the draw, but we get a sense of what is available, so we get a little more control if, again, we have that system. The storeroom allows us to take some skills that are placed there at the beginning of the game and also to acquire tools that are represented by special cards. And tools, again, can be very useful. We can have translators, alarm suppressors, a cloak, a pistol, rifle, and so on and so forth. Next, improvised plans. That will give you different benefits. You need to unlock the area. I think you guessed it by now to get it. And then this action here, which is to, again, reduce the concealment, or actually increase the concealment, reduce the enemy's awareness. You can activate the communication system that allows you to give or take skills from another player that is not in the same area. Usually players can trade skills only if they're in the same area. And then also you can, if you activate the closed circuit video, you can reveal the top 2 alerts of the deck, so you know what's gonna happen next. The general flow is pretty simple. As I said, characters activate in order of rank from lowest number to highest, and they perform actions up to the number indicated on their card, and the available actions are also, some are available only, it's available when you're injured, and the ones without that symbol, you must be not injured. When you're injured, you're like that. And you can only perform some actions. So for an action, you can move up to 2 spaces, or you can kill an hostile alien in your location. It's automatic. You're pretty good at that, killing stuff, I guess. So you simply spend an action, remove the alien. There are some aliens that are tougher, require 2 actions. If there are multiple aliens in the same space, you have to start by killing the weakest before you get to the good ones. You can carry another player 1 space. You can give a skill or tool to another player in that location. And again, that is how, by trading skills, you form the correct sets to be able to unlock stuff, and especially to charge the pod that you need to escape. Also, for the same for an action, you can take a skill or tool from another player in your location. You can give or take, very pandemic-ish. So you take your actions, so you try to dodge aliens that will be cluttering the board. Usually they just stand there, but there are also some patrolling aliens that actually will move around at the end of each round. So the board will get pretty busy, pretty cluttered quite fast. Trust me on that one. Now I'm doing it a little bit randomly. So you will move and do stuff, and once you're done, you will reveal an alert card. These alert cards, not showing them to you, no spoilers, but the idea is that they will add new aliens to the board, they will force some aliens to move. Very often you have aliens from 2 locations going to a single location, so that means that they start forming groups that are larger and larger, and scarier, and more difficult to take care of. Other times the aliens will do different things. If at the end of the alert you are in an area where there are aliens, then the character is captured and it is escorted to the infirmary. And, well, I guess this is the general idea. Other things, I guess, things that will trigger the alarm. Killing an alien will trigger the alarm. Being in the, hacking into a system will trigger the alarm. This sort of things. Performing any action that has the alarm system will, I guess, you guessed it, trigger the alarm. On the plus side, if you trigger the alarm during your turn, You get a contraband card, and these are cards that will give you different types of benefits, usually out of turn, so that you still have something to do even when you're not the active player. Continue like this until either you're able to power up the escape pod and leave the alien ship, or until all alert cards are gone, or all of your heroes are gone. Either of them happens, you lose the game. I definitely enjoyed the first installment of The Captain is Dead, and I enjoyed this one too. At the beginning I wasn't so sure, I wasn't entirely sold, because I saw the good things that the first game has, different abilities for each character, nice, very flexible turn, because you have just a number of actions, and so you can manipulate what you actually do in a lot of different ways. But at the same time, it seemed to me there were more game effects, more things that you had to take into account. At the beginning, I was a little bit again dubious, because it seems to me that the game did the same things that the previous game did at an added complexity, and so that doesn't seem necessarily a great idea. If I can do something, then if I can do it with less effort, isn't that better? But then I really warmed up. Then the extra rules, the new abilities, the new game effects clicked, and then I really got to enjoy the game for the tension that it gave me, for the sense of increasing, well, tension and horror and disaster and looming catastrophe that the game really generates, as the aliens, they're mainly stationary. I mean, they sit there, there's only one type of alien that by default moves around, but then there are card effects that will move them, they'll turn them into large hordes, that is basically suicidal to encounter. But then maybe you get a grenade and you throw it in there, great satisfaction doing so. But basically I really like how there's a strong sense of opportunity cost, because there are just so many different systems that you can activate. All more or less good, some necessary, some desirable. Which also means that in a game maybe you'll activate certain systems, in the other game another group of systems. So right there you have replay value, simply because you cannot do everything every time. Also, the aliens will behave differently. You can try with different team members. So there's just a large, a huge number of possible game elements that will go together. That will give you a lot of of materials to chew and to deal with. A lot of dilemmas that you will try to solve. Push your luck elements, in which you're hoping that if you end your turn in a certain area because you really want to do something next turn, they won't come and catch you, or maybe you plan things in such a way that you will reach the area and still get to do the action, so even if they catch you, so be it. So there are just a lot of interesting things that you get to do, a lot of different challenges. In a certain sense, I realize that I'm keeping it vague, but that's precisely because either I do a huge list of all the elements in the game, and then in any case the number of permutations will remain unclear, or I just tell you, trust me, no two games will be the same, because you will have a lot of different troubles that will happen, a lot of different resources that you can count on. The general idea, the general engine is very solid. If you like the previous game, I think you will enjoy The Captain is Dead Lockdown. It has, again, a slightly different flavor, mainly because of the stealth element, mainly because you're less powerful, or in any case confrontations with the aliens are more costly in terms of advantage. But in general, it is a really fun game. Again, different flavor, similar enough that you shouldn't have too much of a hard time playing the game. More complex in my opinion, again more difficult to pick up than the previous game, and possibly also harder to win. I mean, it's pretty punishing, it's a pretty hard game. It reminded me of Ghost Stories in terms of complexity. That's one of the first cooperative games that I played, and to this day one of the toughest ones that I know. The Captain is Dead Lockdown. If you are a Star Trek fan, or if you played the first game, I think you'll enjoy this one. If you play the first one, the learning curve shouldn't be too hard. If you never played the game, starting from this one may be a little more challenging than from the previous game, but with a little bit of patience, just go through the motions, do everything that the cards say, you will only see the trees for a while before things click in and the trees appear to be a beautiful forest, but that moment will get there. You'll get there, and it shouldn't be too hard. The Captain Is Dead Lockdown, fun cooperative game, definitely different enough from the previous one to be an interesting experience, but also similarly enough that if you enjoyed that one, chances are you'll enjoy this one too.